What are you ready to stop apologizing for? Are you apologizing for following your dream, for taking time away from your family or your friends, for taking selfies, posting them online, or just for following your own path? Are you apologizing out loud, like, sorry for another post, or are you apologizing with your actions and your attitude and the way you hold your body, like trying to physically shrink yourself, sorry for taking up too much space? If you want to move forward with your business or even your life, it's time to identify your apologies and move on to being unapologetically yourself. Welcome to Explore Your Enthusiasm, episode 260. I'm Tara Swiger, and I've been thinking and writing about the need to be unapologetic for a very long time, and I've been working on being unapologetic about myself for even longer. Now, before we dive into today's episode, I want to share that I've been working on a new e-course about self-care, and you can get it for free at tarswiger.com/takecare. If you've struggled with confidence, motivation, focus, it may very well be because you need to take care of yourself. This course focuses on my favorite tools for taking care of myself, which in turn helps me manage my mental health, which is the biggest impact on my business. So whether you're running a business or you're a new mom like me, or you're just struggling to follow your enthusiasm, check out the new e-course at tarswiger.com/takecare. It's totally free. You're just going to get a couple emails in your inbox. Now, I've been thinking about apologizing for my dreams, for my ambition, for who I am, for a really long time. When I started writing about business, I titled this site, if you're watching on tarswiger.com, I titled this for a very brief amount of time, Unapologetically Wonky. This was back in 2010. In the show notes, I'm going to link up to a post that I wrote 9 years ago about the name, about how important it is for us to claim who we are, all of our imperfections, and be unapologetic about it. At the time, this is a quote, I said, I don't just acknowledge that, yeah, we're all a little wonky. I think it's imperative to embrace it, to love our wonky bits, to be who we are without apologizing. Unapologetically wonky is a way of being that influences my teaching and my creating, embracing the imperfections in my students' work and helping them accept it as a natural part of learning, and avoiding holding up any one standard of awesomeness. Because you see, guys, this podcast is often about imperfections and motivation and when we're not feeling good enough. And this all comes back to me wanting to help you not feel so alone, so that you know when you feel imperfect, when you feel wonky, when you feel unbalanced, when you feel like you're struggling, you're not alone. I'm doing it too. There's not one standard of this wonderful guru you should all be paying attention to and who's got it all together, because none of us have it all together. So that was true back in 2010, and it is even more important today. With Instagram perfection and Facebook humble bragging and all of the ways we are surrounded by pictures of lives that seem better than ours, it is more important than ever to acknowledge and embrace our own wonkiness, our own imperfections, and move forward unapologetically ourselves. Now, a quick shout out to the book that got me thinking about this most recently, which is Rachel Hollis's Girl, Stop Apologizing. Just the title. I was like, yes, stop apologizing. So I read the intro and immediately started having a conversation about this on my Instagram stories. And those conversations inspired this episode. I'm really liking the book so far, but I have not read it all because I wanted to write this episode before I read any more, so it'd be all my own thoughts. But check that book out if you want to do more of Stop Apologizing. So let's start from the beginning. What does it even mean to be unapologetic? It means not apologizing for really, and I mean really, wanting something. It means not apologizing for not wanting what other people want. It means not apologizing for spending hours working on what lights you up. And it also means not apologizing for spending hours not working, for napping, for reading, for snuggling, for watching TV. It means not apologizing for wanting more customers, more money, more house, more friends, more kids, more. Don't apologize for it. It also means not apologizing for wanting less waste, less stuff, less debt, less expectations, less work, less inequality, less conflict, less. It's okay to want less. It means not apologizing for standing your ground, for living your values, for choosing something that other people aren't choosing, and for parenting the way that you want to parent. It means not apologizing for your body, for what size it is, for what color it is, for what it can do, for what it can't do, for what it doesn't want to do, for what it craves, and for what turns it on. It means not apologizing for totally and completely accepting yourself, for loving yourself, for taking care of yourself exactly as you are today with no changes. And also for not apologizing for not being there yet, for not feeling like you can accept yourself yet, for feeling like you're still working on it. It means not apologizing for loving and accepting others, or for creating healthy boundaries, or for saying yes when you want to, and for saying no when you want to. In other words, it means not apologizing to the world and not apologizing to yourself, either in your words, your actions, or your attitudes, for who you are and what you want. Now, why stop apologizing? It's because apologizing is keeping you small. It keeps you from following your dreams. It makes you feel like you're not allowed to want what you want. And that means you won't actually do what it takes to do to get what you want. So I've experienced this so often in my own life and business, it's ridiculous. I want something, but I feel kind of like about wanting it because I think it's going to either inconvenience someone else or it's going to be weird, like that's not what other people do, and so I don't follow through on figuring out how to get it. I don't get to the part where I make a plan for getting it because I don't feel great about actually wanting it, let alone actually doing the work to get it. And I don't do that until I feel awesome about it. So until I'm unapologetic about wanting it and for the work it'll take to get it, I'm not going to be able to do the work that it takes to get it. So if you're stuck on not following through on a dream, I want you to stop and think, what are you apologizing for? Where do you feel like, about a dream? And anywhere you're not moving forward on something, or you're not even making plans to move forward and you just like kind of keep circling around it, what makes you feel like you shouldn't want it? The other reason to be unapologetic is apologizing for what makes you different, or for going your own way and blazing your own trail, is what keeps your business stuck. Now, here's the crazy thing. That stuff that makes you different, the way you want to live or communicate or make or market or be in the world, that is what will make your business stand out. That is what will lead to your business success. It's not what's holding you back. It's what's going to propel you forward. What's holding you back is you apologizing and you not letting that out and you hiding that. So if you follow the path that others have blazed, if you do what everyone else expects you to do, if you do what everyone else is doing, your business is going to be boring. If you have a business just like everybody else's, no one's going to buy from you. No one's going to care about your business. We buy from and keep coming back to the businesses that are different, that stand out, that we care about the people because we can see them as individual people. And hey, if you've been telling yourself the lie that your field is already really crowded, that too many other people do it, the solution is not to give up. The solution is to do it your own way, to be different. So whether you sell knitting designs or handmade products or someone else's products, even if you have like a doTERRA essential oil business or another direct selling business, yes, hundreds of thousands of people may already be selling the same thing, but none of them can be you. None of them will do it the way that you do it. So being apologetic for your own weird offbeat ways is going to keep you from seeing the success that you would see if you would be your weird offbeat self. Being in a state of apology is setting a bad example. Here's the thing. I want you to accept what you want for you, but I know that often we make changes because it's actually good for others. I know that sometimes that's a motivation we need to move forward. So here's a totally altruistic reason to stop apologizing. Everything you're doing is conveying your values and conveying what you believe is possible and permissible for yourself and for other people. Now, maybe I've been thinking about impact and examples because I also talked about that in the last episode. Maybe I've been thinking about it a lot so much because all of my foster babes have been girls. So I've been really feeling hard the fact that I am an example to growing women about what they're allowed to do with their lives. But here's the thing, we always are an example to everyone about what's possible and permissible in other people's lives. So maybe it's because I've woken up to the fact that often we only believe that we're allowed to want something when we see other people do it. So running a 10K was possible for me only after I saw my college roommate, who I had tons in common with, and neither of us were sporty, when she was running half marathons. Being a mom of 4, and rocking a killer business did not seem possible or even allowable until I got up close and saw the family life of my friends Liz and Dave. There are so many things that I've wanted for my life that I haven't even really been able to put into words until I saw someone else doing it. So when you feel like you have to apologize for taking care of yourself, or when you apologize for being dedicated to your business, or you apologize for wanting a lot of kids, or you apologize for wanting your business so bad you're dedicating the hours to it, you are telling those around you, both the little people and the big people, that this is not permissible for them either. They are not allowed to want it without being really sorry that they want it. Okay, so now I hope I've convinced you to stop being so apologetic. The question is how do you do it? I have steps. I always have steps. Number 1, recognize what you're apologizing for. Maybe you need to listen again to the examples I give at the beginning of the episode, but I am sure if you are feeling low confidence about something, or you're telling yourself that one of your dreams aren't possible, you are feeling like it's not quite permissible for you, or you feel apologetic for wanting it. So you need to recognize what you're apologizing for. By the way, if you're feeling awesome, if you are moving forward, if you are a bright, shining light of doing what you want to do in the world, then don't worry about this. You're not apologizing. You are doing it. You are unapologetically you. Embrace that. Sometimes we look for things that are wrong for us with us when everything's great. So if you're not feeling wishy-washy about wanting anything that you want, then just shut this episode off and go have a dance party. Now, if you are feeling wishy-washy, recognize what you're apologizing for. The second thing is ask yourself, what are the beliefs you have about that area, about that thing, about that category? What are the beliefs you have about yourself and who you are supposed to be? And what are the beliefs you have about that thing and the kind of person who's allowed to have that thing? Number 3, I want you to envision your most badass self, the one who is unapologetic about wanting what she wants, the one who is going after it, the one who is getting it. And I want you to ask yourself, what does she do that you're not doing? What does she believe that you don't believe? Now, you can look at specific examples of people who are going after something that you specifically want and saying, what does she believe is possible that I don't believe is possible? As an example about having business and a lot of kids, I asked myself, what does Liz think is possible for her life? Well, her whole concept of parenting kids and running a business is just different than I was raised with. So realizing those changes in beliefs, sometimes you can interview a person, but I really want you to picture yourself being there, not being this other person, but being there. And if you don't have a specific person in mind, you can interview about an aspect of it. My favorite thing to do is write a letter as future you, because this unapologetic person is your future. That's future you. So if she's future you, what did she learn? What did you learn? And what did you do to make your dreams happen? Now, if that sounds too crazy for you and you think, well, I can't write from future me, just write a list. What does the person who's unapologetic about this, what are her beliefs about herself? And what are her beliefs around this area or this dream or this desire? And where do you not line up? What do you need to change? What do you need to learn? What beliefs do you need to shift? And then obviously you're going to work on shifting those beliefs. You can work with a life coach like my friend Jolie, that's kind of what she does, or you can work on it by regularly reminding yourself that you believe this new thing. And you might use tapping, you might use essential oils, you might use just practicing it over and over, affirmations. You want to work through it. The 4th thing is catch yourself and others, if you can do it gently, when you start to apologize for something you want. So for me, it often sounds like, oh, sorry, but I really want to wait. I really want to, no, wait, I'm not sorry. Let me start over. I would like to do X. I would like you to do Z and support me in supporting me to do X. That's what I mean by catching yourself when you start to apologize and reword it. Now, I do this all the time with my loved ones, and here's the crazy thing. Every single time I've done that, the person has said, oh, that's awesome. I would love to help you. Thank you so much for letting me know. Because those who love you want to know what you want, and they want to know how to support you. And you being honest and straightforward instead of whiny or cranky or passive about it allows them to be honest and straightforward about how they are willing to support you and what they don't want to do. So if I say, oh, I'm sorry, but I'd really like to work a couple more hours on this tonight. Do you mind? Can you make dinner? And my husband is like, well, actually, I wanted to work on painting my miniatures tonight. So how about we just eat peanut butter and jelly? Perfect. You see, the person you're talking to doesn't have to exactly do what you ask them to do, but you are claiming what you want and they can claim what they want. It allows you all to open up about what you want and the support you need. So I hope that this helps you catch yourself when you're apologizing and start to live more unapologetically. It's going to make you feel so much better. Just not apologizing for being who I am has like lifted this weight of, I don't know, shame, I guess I was carrying around. And it also allows your business to shine and move forward even faster. So I want to hear your own stories about choosing to be unapologetically. I'd love to hear about how you are stopping yourself from apologizing and rewording it. So please share with me, tag me on Instagram when you post about it. I'm at Swiger. Please share on your own Instagram how you're being unapologetic. Remember, you're an example to people. You have an impact. And as a reminder, you can get the new e-course at tarswiger.com/take care. Thank you so much for listening, and I'm wishing you an unapologetically awesome week.